Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, the day after St. Patrick's Day. I got my green mug and green shirt on, just in honor of St. Patrick's Day. Uh, today, I've entitled this "Taking the Leap," and we're going to talk just a little bit about risk taking. And this was really inspired by, well, my own life. But this last week was an interesting week. I watched two documentaries, and the two documentaries were on climbing. One of them was called Free Solo, and the other one was called The Dawn Wall. Both of them were about guys that followed their dream, that took risks. Both of them were about guys that didn't just settle for something that, a standard job that was a 9 to 5 that was comfortable for them, but instead they decided they were going to live out of their vans. They were going to, again, follow their dream and go and do things that most people don't do. However, the two were very different in what I would call calculated risk. The Dawn Wall is about a guy by the name of Tommy Caldwell, who is arguably one of the best climbers, if not the best climber in the world. The other one is about a friend of his. His name is Alex, and I can't remember his last name. He's also one of the best climbers in the world. And I'm not going to give any of it away because I think they're fantastic, and I think you guys should watch these two documentaries. But one of them I would say is calculated risk and following after a dream really, really hard. And what I mean by that, really, really hard is years upon years upon years of preparation for accomplishing a goal that he set out to do. Something that people thought was impossible. People thought he was a little crazy, but it was a goal that he had set out, and it took him like 7 to 8 years of preparation. The other one is just another interesting, and I would say this is the risk that the other guy takes, and the documentary is called Free Solo. I would say is not calculated risk, but it is a absolutely riveting documentary. And when we talk about taking calculated risks in our lives, most of us, I don't think, even take those. I think most of us in our lives are very, very happy and comfortable with where we're at with, kind of a standard vanilla 9 to 5 job. And I talked a little bit about this when I talked about the boring life. Do you have a boring life? I think was the actual title of the call that I did a couple weeks ago. But taking calculated risks are, I think, super important to keeping a life that is vibrant and the life that maybe, in my opinion, that God has for you, okay? He doesn't want a boring life for you. He wants you to take calculated risk. He wants you to enjoy that life. I was talking to a guy just yesterday at church, and this is an example, and I guess I'll leave with this. It'll be a short one today, but I'm gonna leave with this story. We were talking, and I said, "Hey, how's your job going?" And he is a civil engineer. He has a fantastic job, and with one of the larger, around here, one of the larger civil engineering firms. And he's great at what he does. Need some coffee here this morning. He's great at what he does. And I asked him, "So how's it going?" And he goes, "It's going fine. Not really enjoying what I do." Basically that's kind of the gist. He wasn't really enjoying what he does. He just goes to work every day. He's done it for 20 years. It's kind of getting boring. And I asked him, I said, "Why are you doing it?" I said, what do you want to do? What is it that you want to do? And he goes into the story about, and this is only about a 10-minute conversation. He says, I'd love to open up a hostel, and I'd love to be a guide. Now, that's not very unusual out here. I live in the heart of the Rockies here. And so that is his dream. That's what he wants. And I talked to him. I said, well, what's stopping you? He said, man, the insurance piece is stopping me. That's a big part of it, health insurance. And I thought to myself, wow, that's it? That just health insurance is stopping you? Man, there are ways to get around that. I'm like, that's so exciting, because there are ways you can calculate that risk. And that is a risk you can take, because you can get catastrophic plan for really cheap. And then there are several doctors in our area that are on like a subscription-based approach to healthcare. So it was like a 30-second talk with this guy, and I'm like, man, you can take this risk, you can do that. But I don't know if it's so much the health insurance, I think it's the stepping out. Now, he agreed with me. I said, sometimes it's just the stepping out that's hard. But once you step out, once you take that risk and you take that leap, man, the ride is amazing. And so I guess what I'm trying to get at is, take a look at your life right now. Is it boring? Is there something that you'd rather be doing? Because you're only on this globe once. You got one chance at this. And it might be hard for a few years. That's right. Absolutely. You might be giving up a little bit of financial security. You might be giving up, but take that calculated risk. Look at it hard, and say, are there ways around this? Is there calculated risk I can take that is going to improve the quality of my life substantially? And I think you'll come to the conclusion that, yeah, I can take this risk. I mean, we don't want to do anything stupid or dumb, but in the eyes of the world, sometimes, maybe not having insurance for 3 months is really stupid and not a risk that you want to take. I would say, no, take it. Take it. You can find insurance somewhere, that's a calculated risk you should take. But when you weigh it out, and you look at the long term, and this maybe the short-term sacrifice that you're going to make, maybe it's 3, 4, or 5 years to get a business up and running. Maybe that's it, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And then you're living your dream, but you're doing something that you love to do every day. Man, the quality of life factor that goes up is well worth it. So take that leap, take that step out. It's just that first one that's going to hurt a little bit, or that first one that's going to be really, really scary. But conquer that fear, take that fear head on, and take the leap. It's going to be well worth it. Karen and I took it, and we love it, and it's so worth it. And we're living in one of the most beautiful places in this country. And yes, is it hard at times? Absolutely, it's hard at times. But you know what? We wouldn't have it any other way. Absolutely no other way. Because we get to do things that we never thought we'd be able to do. And I guarantee it'll be the same thing with you. If you go out and you take that leap and you take that risk. All right, you guys have a fantastic week. I hope this encouraged you. I hope you go out and I hope you take that leap. Take it. Go do it. Do what you want to do. I guarantee that you are going to love it, and you're going to love the journey. So have a great week. I hope this encourages you. And we will see you next week.